As I've always said with our 45th president, there's no such thing as rock bottom. And over the last couple of weeks, we've had an admission that he tried to overturn the election, which disproves your theory that he never wanted to stay. Mike Pence acknowledged he was wrong. You had the RNC fiasco of basically saying it was, what's the quote, legitimate political discourse. There we go. So I guess my question for you is, as a staunch Trump supporter, when are you going to start saying, okay, we need to stand up for what the Republican Party used to be? I need to finally take a stand because let's face it, okay? Obviously, people from the left are not going to reach the base. And people like me, who are Republicans but have been never Trumpers from the start, we don't think Donald Trump is a Republican. We think he's best described as a right-wing illiberal populist. But people like you have credibility. You can go on Fox News and people will listen. So when are you going to start saying, at what point is it going to take for you to say, enough, we need to stand up for democracy over party?
Well, it's interesting because and I've talked about this very publicly and people can see the tape. In 2016, I was a never Trump Republican through the end. I did a write-in candidate for Ben Sasse. And so I understand all of the concerns in terms of the language and the character issues and all those questions. I think that part of my problem, I think with my analysis at that point was that it's about understanding what are the policies that this person stands for. And the fact that someone says things and does things, again, this is how politicians are. I don't think you would say that Hillary Clinton is a saint or that Joe Biden is a saint. When you look at the things that Hunter Biden's son and his family, the way his son has profited off his family, and the way that the media suppressed the story about Hunter Biden and his incredible connections that were just deeply unethical, and the way that that story was suppressed by the media and the technology companies, that's how politicians are. They are, it's just, it's a dirty world. So I guess clutching the pearls, wow. I think that I was clutching the pearls in many respects. I think that the question of, what does Trump represent? And let's get to those issues, because what he is he's way more than just one person. He represents tens of millions of people who have been deeply disaffected by the system as it currently stands. And he's not actually that right wing, because you describe him as right wing. He turned the Republican Party actually to the left on issues like trade, trade deals,
abandoning GOP principles.
Well, no, but that's how he was able to get blue collar.
That's populism. That's populism. Remember, that's why he's a populist. He's not a Republican. Being anti-free trade is populism. But let me just respond to what you said, because, one of the things I love, we got new phrases, and with you, I've coined the case, there's false equivalency, and then with you, there are false non-equivalencies. This idea of trying to link Hillary Clinton, who conceded the election the night of it.
No. I'm talking about Hillary Clinton's.
Hold on. But let me just finish. And so that's talk. I'm talking about actions. You are seeing here a plan to overturn the election. You are seeing a ground being laid for the same type of thing in 2024, except now you may not have the Brad Raffenspergers in Georgia and those kind of people that stood up to this. So my point is, and here's the question, because I didn't hear you answer it. At what point are you going to say enough is enough? What does Trump have to do for you to finally say, I've had it? Put aside what he stands for. I'm not saying that some of the stuff that he stands for, you might not agree, or some of the stuff he's done, I supported. But at what point are you going to say enough is enough?
Well, I think at the end of the day, it really has more to do with what the voters have to say about it.
So you're not going to answer the question.
Well, no, we've talked through very frequently about what exactly he's done.
No, but I'm saying this is new stuff. But this is new stuff. This is before there was some, at least I couldn't prove as conclusively, disprove your theory that he never wanted to leave office, or that it was just trying to stand up for the people, or, all this. And now there's more and more stuff. Literally the White House toilet was toilets were clogged because he was flushing documents down the toilet that he shouldn't have been. I mean, the list, it just goes on and on. So at my point, at some point, there's got to be something that'll break for you. Is it when he's got to actually get up there and physically try to do something instead of talking about it, at what point will you say, okay, democracy has to come before party?
Well, the documents he has, I know there's been concerns about him.
But you're addressing individual things. This is an overall theme, Carrie.
Well, yeah.
But I mean, can't
no,
you?
But I'm trying to address, because you're bringing up so many things. At what point
will you say enough is enough?
I don't think. I mean, this is a free country. He can run for office, Dave.
Yes, but he cannot overturn elections. He can't tell the vice president not to.
Yeah, he can't.
All right, and so this is the stuff that was in doubt before that he did. So this man, his president was a criminal. His presidency was a criminal enterprise, and there's more and more.
Well, as he pointed out, Trump has said, okay, why is Congress trying to do the Electoral Count Act if there was any question at all? Why put this in place if you're saying that it wasn't legal at all, or that there was zero legal analysis that said that Pence could have done something? Why would you even need to do the Electoral Count Act? Because
the Electoral Count Act is a nebulous part.
I agree. Right.
I'm talking about
that's what he's saying is that
getting fake electors to send in their ballots, trying to show up at the Michigan State Capitol, pretending to be the real electors. This is all the stuff that he and his Sidney Powell and Rudy Giuliani and these, this basket of deplorables, to use our favorite phrase, that they were going around. Peter Navarro's another one. God. So anyway, all right. Well, I guess I'm not going to get an answer, but it's a great, it's a great topic. But before we go, I have to ask you though, did you hear the latest gem from Marjorie Taylor Greene? She complained about Nancy Pelosi and the gazpacho police.
Yeah, that was
the gazpacho police. I guess I'm laughing and I should be crying because MTG represents the apotheosis of the dumbing down of the dimwittedness of our party. And do you remember when the Republican Party used to be the party of ideas? Remember people like William F. Buckley? Now we stand for obstruction and internalizing the big lie. Hey, you're not going to believe this, but 5 years ago, we even had a platform.
Well, look, we all put our feet in our mouth at some point. I think the case in point. But what she says to me is similar to what AOC says when she goes down to Florida without a mask
another false
and says,
equivalency.
You just want to date me.
AOC is not calling people Nazis. AOC is not that.
She's calling them white supremacists.
Circulating cartoons of Marjorie Taylor Greene being killed. The Democrats are off the deep end. Look, I have no defense of the squad. I can't stand all four of them. Whether it's Rashida Tlaib advocating for getting rid of prisons, whether it's the anti-Semitism of Ilhan Omar. I mean, believe me, I don't care for any of them, but that is a lot different than advocating for the murder of your colleagues and referring to everyone. But the fact that she couldn't even get Gestapo right, don't you miss the days when the Republican Party was the party of ideas and intellect? Don't you miss that a little bit?
I don't want to sound elitist because I'm not.
Giving an inch would help. It would help make people. It's important to at least acknowledge when your team isn't what they used to be. Anyway, God, always another great debate. It's great having you on the show. I love it. It's always done with intensity, but humor and respect. Well, I'm Dave Spencer. Thanks so much again for joining us on another episode of Practically Political.
We'll see you next time, and make sure to see us on social media. We will catch you there.